be experienced in trance. That is called the perfection of meditation. He does not apprehend wisdom, nor one who is wise, nor that which should be known by wisdom. This is called the perfection of wisdom. When a bodhisattva courses thus, he can fulfill the sixth perfection. It is thus that someone should, without basing himself on anything, expound the six perfections, complete in meaning and letters. And why? Because in a future period there will arise some sons and daughters of good family who will expound a counterfeit perfection of wisdom. Also, for the sake of those who have set out for the supreme enlightenment and who hear this counterfeit perfection of wisdom, should this perfection of wisdom be expounded complete in meaning and letters. Sakra. What is this counterfeit perfection of wisdom? The Lord. Here some son or daughter of good family may promise to expound this perfection of wisdom, but in fact will expound the counterfeit perfection of wisdom. And what they explain is that form, and everything else, is impermanent, ill, not self, and repulsive, and that those who will course in this insight course in the perfection of wisdom. As a result, those to whom this has been explained will strive to win these insights. But in fact a counterfeit of wisdom has been explained and practiced. Moreover, some will expound the perfection of wisdom by saying, "Come here, you son of good family, and develop the perfection of wisdom and the other perfections. When you do so, you will be able to stand on the first, to 10th stage." But they will develop the perfection of wisdom by way of a sign, by way of a basis through the perception of the knowledge of all modes. This is the counterfeit perfection of wisdom. Moreover, those sons and daughters of good family will explain as follows: "Come here, you son of good family, develop the perfection of wisdom. When you do so, you will transcend the level of the disciples and pratyekabuddhas." This is the counterfeit perfection of wisdom. Moreover, those sons and daughters of good family, when they explain the perfection of wisdom to followers of the great vehicle, will explain as follows: "Come here, you son of good family, develop the perfection of wisdom. When you do so, you will enter on a bodhisattva's special way of salvation." This is the counterfeit perfection of wisdom. Moreover, they will explain the perfection of wisdom as follows: "Come here, you son of good family, develop the perfection of wisdom. When you do so, you will acquire the patience acquiescence in dharmas which fail to be produced. And in consequence you will stand in the superknowledges of a bodhisattva which will enable you to pass on from Buddha field to Buddha field, so that you may there honor, revere, and worship the Buddhas, the Lords." When they explain it like this, they explain the counterfeit perfection of wisdom. Moreover, when they explain the perfection of wisdom to followers of the bodhisattva-vehicle, they will explain as follows: "Whoever takes up the perfection of wisdom, too wisely attends to it, he will beget an infinite heap of merit." When they explain it like this, they explain a counterfeit perfection of wisdom. Moreover, they will say to followers of the bodhisattva-vehicle, "Come here, son of good family. Take all the wholesome root of the Tathagatas of the past, future, and present. From the first thought of enlightenment to their entry into parinirvana in the element of nirvana which leaves nothing behind, rejoice at it, pile it up into one single heap, and dedicate it to the supreme enlightenment." When they explain it like this, they explain a counterfeit perfection of wisdom. Sakra. What then do those explain who explain to those who have set out in the bodhisattva vehicle a perfection which is not counterfeit? The Lord. Here the sons and daughters of good family explain to those who have set out in the bodhisattva vehicle the perfection of wisdom as follows: Come here, son of good family. When you develop the perfection of wisdom, you should not look upon form, too. All knowledge as impermanent. And why? Because form is empty of the own being of form. What is the own being of form? That is non-existence. And what is non-existence? That is the perfection of wisdom, which does not describe form as permanent or impermanent. And why? Because even form does not exist therein, how much less can there be permanence or impermanence? Furthermore, they will say, Come here, son of good family, develop the perfection of wisdom, but do not look on any dharma or rely on one. And why? Because in the perfection of wisdom there exists no dharma which should be seen or in which one should seek support. And why? Because all dharmas are empty in their own being. And a dharma which is empty in its own being, that is non-existence. And what is non-existence? That is the perfection of wisdom, which is not of any dharma the toiling or withdrawal from it, the production or stopping, the annihilation or eternity, the single or multiple meaning, the coming or going away. Therefore, then, one should describe the meaning of the perfection of wisdom in this way. When one explains it in this way, one begets a greater merit than the previously described persons. Strongly strong. Moreover, kausika, if someone were to establish the beings of Jambudvipa in the fruit of a streamwinner, would he beget much merit? Sakra. He would, O Lord. The Lord. A merit greater than this will he beget who explains this perfection of wisdom, complete in meaning and letters, to others by various methods. And in doing so he will say, Come here, son of good family. Take up the perfection of wisdom, study it, bear it in mind, recite it, wisely attend to it, and make progress in the perfection of wisdom as it has been expounded. And why? Because from this perfection of wisdom the streamwinner and his fruit become manifest. Leaving aside all beings who have been disciplined in the fruit of a streamwinner in Jambudvipa, or in a four-continent world system, or in a small chiliocosm, or in a medium dechiliocosm, or in a great trichiliocosm. If someone would establish in all the countless world systems in all the 10 directions, all beings in the fruit of a streamwinner, would he on the strength of that beget much merit? Sakra. He would, O Lord. The Lord. A merit greater than that will he beget who explains this perfection of wisdom to others in detail, complete in meaning and letters, and who says to them, Come here, son of good family. Take up the perfection of wisdom, study it, bear it in mind, recite it, wisely attend to it, and make progress in the perfection of wisdom as it has been expounded. And why? Because from this perfection of wisdom has the streamwinner become manifest. Glorification. E7, very weak. Moreover, kausika, if someone were to establish the beings of Jambudvipa in the fruit of a once-returner, moderately weak, or of a never-returner, fairly weak, or in arhatship, would he on account of that beget much merit? Sakra. He would, O Lord. The Lord. A merit greater than, and why? Because from this perfection of wisdom have the fruits of a once-returner and of a never-returner, as well as arhatship been conceived. Leaving aside the beings of Jambudvipa who have been disciplined in the 3 higher fruits. If the same were done to all beings in world systems of any size, in all world systems, would one on the strength of that beget a great deal of merit. Sakra. One would, O Lord. The Lord. A merit greater than that, arhatship been conceived. Weakly medium. Likewise, if all beings everywhere were established in pratyekabuddhahood, the merit from the perfection of wisdom would be the greater. Moderately medium. Moreover, kausika, if someone were to instigate all the beings in Jambudvipa to win the supreme enlightenment, would he on the strength of that beget much merit? Sakra. He would, O Lord. The Lord. A merit greater than that, and make progress in the perfection of wisdom as it has been expounded. And to the extent that you progress in the perfection of wisdom as it has been expounded, to that extent you will become a recipient of all knowledge. To the extent that all knowledge matures in you, to that extent will the perfection of wisdom more and more move in you towards the fulfillment of development. To the extent that the perfection of wisdom moves in you towards the fulfillment of its development, to that extent you will know the supreme enlightenment. And why? Because from this have come forth all the bodhisattvas who anywhere have raised their hearts to full enlightenment. Strongly medium. And so with the beings in a four-continent world system. Weakly strong. A small chiliocosm. Medium strong. A medium dechiliocosm, a great trichiliocosm, or all the world systems everywhere. Strongly strong. Moreover, if someone were to establish all beings in Jambudvipa, too, in all world systems, on the irreversible level, then someone else would beget the greater merit if he were to explain to all these beings this perfection of wisdom, complete in meaning and letters, and if he would say, "Come here, son of good family, take up this perfection of wisdom, too. Make progress in the perfection of wisdom as it has been expounded." To the extent that you have made progress in the perfection of wisdom as it has been expounded, to that extent do you, training in the perfection of wisdom, stand in irreversibility, and you will gradually know the supreme enlightenment. When you train in perfect wisdom, then you will be one who obtains the dharmas of all knowledge. When you obtain the dharmas of all knowledge, then you will know the supreme enlightenment. Furthermore, if someone were to establish all beings in Jambudvipa, too, in all world systems, in irreversibility from the supreme enlightenment, and were to explain to them the perfection of wisdom complete in meaning and letters, and if among them one single one were to say, "I will quickly fully know the supreme enlightenment," then to explain to him the perfection of wisdom complete in meaning and letters would beget the greater merit. And why? Because it is to these irreversible bodhisattvas that the full meaning of the Dharma should be expounded, for they are definitely destined for full enlightenment and bound to end up in it. They pine away to get out of samsara, but they are quite filled with the great compassion and therefore will stay in it. X. Winding up the topic of the divisions into weak. Sakra. To the extent, O Lord, that the bodhisattva comes nearer to full enlightenment, to that extent he should be instructed and admonished in the 6 perfections, the 18 kinds of emptiness, the applications of mindfulness, too. The 18 special dharmas of a Buddha. Having been helped with robes, almsfood, lodgings, and medicinal appliances for use in sickness. Such a bodhisattva should be helped with both material and spiritual things, for someone who helps with both material and spiritual things begets the greater merit. And why? Because it so happens that that bodhisattva is instructed and admonished in the 6 perfections, too. In the 18 special dharmas of a Buddha. Subhuti. Well said, Kausika, you who fortify those who belong to the bodhisattva-vehicle. Even so should you act. Those holy disciples who want to help beings. Give help to the bodhisattvas, the great beings, help them in their wish for the supreme enlightenment, and maintain them with both material and spiritual things. And why? For here the congregation of the Lord's disciples has its origin, as well as the vehicle of the prayekabuddhas and the great vehicle. For if the bodhisattva had not raised his thought to supreme enlightenment, then he would not have trained in the 6 perfections, too. In the 18 special dharmas of a Buddha. And not having trained in those dharmas, he would not have fully known the supreme enlightenment. And in consequence there would be no conception of the supreme enlightenment, nor of the enlightenment of a pratyekabuddha, nor of the enlightenment of a disciple. But because the bodhisattva trains himself in the 6 perfections, and in all dharmas, therefore he fully knows the supreme enlightenment, cuts off in all world systems the hells, the animal births, and the sphere of the ghosts. And there is a manifestation in the world of good warrior families, good Brahmin families, good householder families, of the various kinds of gods, of the perfections, too, of all knowledge, and of the vehicle of the disciples, the vehicle of the pratyekabuddhas, and the great vehicle. End chapter 32.